So this is a Lepro TB1, and if you've never seen this before, it's one of the coolest designs I've ever come across, with 3 separate perfectly diffused LED rings that can be rotated in any direction. But unfortunately, Matt on Amazon seems to think the software is awful, so in today's video, I'm going to try giving the TB1 a WLED makeover. So taking a closer look at things, at the bottom of the lamp where it'll eventually get connected to the base, we have 3 copper pads, and this is already an excellent sign when it comes to them hopefully using a compatible RGB IC strip. However, we won't know the full story until we get into the base, and thankfully the teardown on this product is about as simple as it gets. After removing the sticky pad on the bottom, there's 4 screws that can be removed, which will allow us to see the guts. Now if you're like me, you're probably already getting excited, because this appears to be about as simple of a setup as you could possibly ask for if you're wanting to convert it to WLED. You already have your red voltage and black negative coming off the barrel plug, and right here you have 3 wires that'll be going to the LEDs, where red is presumably voltage, and then a black and white wire which should make up our data and ground. Next, I went ahead and unscrewed their custom PCB and then removed the JST clips, so all I was left with was the wires. Then I cut off both connectors at the ends, separated all the strands, and then stripped back all 5 of the wires like I'm doing now. So this was the perfect project to use one of Glidopto's mini WLED controllers like I have here. This has room for 2 separate data outputs, your input power, and a couple other accessible pins to use if needed. Now to get this hooked up, I'll take the red wire coming from the barrel connector and put that in the controller's red V+ opening. Then the black wire coming from the barrel connector will go right next to it into the V- slot. For the remaining 3 wires that go to our lights, the red will go to our first output's V connector, the white wire is our data and that'll go to the IO16 slot, and then the last black wire will go to the GND opening. And I'll pause it here so you can get a good view of how simple the wiring actually is. Now to get this closed up, here's what you want to do. Since this controller has a couple buttons on the top, if I close it up like this, the black base piece would press down on those buttons and it's not going to work. However, if you flip it around, because you have this little circular plastic piece that sticks out just enough, that provides the space needed so that when you screw the base back together, those buttons aren't activated. And just like that, you have what I would consider to be a near flawless conversion. From here, you'll take the base and the lights and snap them together by lining up the 3 pegs and pressing firmly down like I'm doing now. Next, you can use the same 5V 3A power supply that this lamp came with and get everything plugged in. Then for the WLED settings, go to Config, LED Preferences. I have the brightness limiter turned on and set to slightly lower than the power supply at 2800 milliamps. Strip type is WS281X, color order is GRB, and there's a total of 196 individually addressable LEDs, so I'll put that in the length field, and the GPIO is set to 16. Hit save and you're all set. Now, kudos to Lepro for A, using a very high density LED strip for this build, which creates incredibly smooth animations, and B, for creating a product that perfectly diffuses the LEDs for a smooth neon glow with absolutely no visible hotspots. But I specifically wanted to use this product because I had an idea pop into my mind last week when I was working on the Govee string light conversion to WLED that I was dying to try out. So the first thing I need to do is create 3 segments for each of the 3 circles. To do this, click on Segments and then click the drop down on Segment 0. Now I already figured this out beforehand, but the outside ring has 87 LEDs, so I'm going to put 87 in the Stop LED field. Hit the check mark and then go to Add Segment. Our middle ring has 63 LEDs, so I'm going to put our Stop LED at 150. Then for the inner circle that has 46 LEDs, the Stop LED will be at 196. Hit the check mark, and just like that, we've created 3 segments that can now all be controlled independent of each other. Next, it was time to set up the Lepro in my gaming room so I can hopefully bring my idea to life. And I did make a full-length build video of this room, so make sure to check that out if you haven't seen that video yet, and I'll leave a link to that in the description. Now, because we are running WLED, you can use all sorts of different programs such as LEDFX, which in my opinion is the best sound react software out there for anything running WLED. After downloading and installing the free program, click on Devices, hit the plus icon, then Add Device. From the drop-down, select WLED, give it a name, enter in Glidopto's WLED IP address, make sure to turn on Create Segments, and then click Add. Now, the reason I just walked you through how to create those 3 segments in WLED is because those 3 are now brought over to LEDFX. And I am planning on doing a video going over a deeper dive into this program, but one of the cool things I can do is I'll go into segment 0, which is our outer ring. Then there's a bunch of sound react animations you can choose from. I'll select magnitude, I'll change it to whatever color I want, and then for this outer ring, I only want it to react to the low frequencies. Then I'll go into segment 1, which is our middle ring, and for this I'll set it to a different color, and I only want this to react to the mid frequencies. And finally I'll select segment 2, which is our smallest center circle, put it to a different color, and this one will only react to the high tones. And because LEDFX is sending the sound data directly from the PC's audio source, you get perfect reaction without any ambient room noises interfering with performance. Well, that about does it for this one, but I'll leave you with a few more of the regular WLED animations. Thank you all for watching, and as always, I hope you have a blessed day. Before the fame and fortune changed you, I know I can't blame you. It's just strange to see, ran so far from who you used to be. You're just a stranger in front of me.